Hi everyone, this is Deb from Deb Web Art. Today I wanted us to delve into art that we can make that really helps us to work through certain emotions. And one such emotion that I have dealt with a lot in my life has been fear. And so I thought, well, that's always a good place to start. Let's work out how we can use art to, it won't take away the fear, but how we can use it to perhaps embrace it and dissolve fears. Okay, once again, this is not replacing anything medical or anything from a psychologist or art therapist. This is just me working on ways that we can combine art to help us deal with various situations. Okay, so let's see what comes of it, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so I've got a little journal here, an Art by Marlene journal, and I'm going to just pull out one of the watercolor papers in here. It's always fun to do these in journals because then you can page through them quite easily and get a feel for what you had done and what was powerful for you. Then I had done a class on Saturday, and so I have leftover palettes and thought, well, I'm just going to use those colors, so we won't go too nuts with everything. And with any watercolors, you always just squirt them first to activate them. So let's just see how that color works. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take an Inktense pencil, which does have, it's quite, as it says, it's intense, Inktense, and I'm going to just write some random words on here. I'll speed up the process. I'm going to write random words on here that are things that perhaps either trigger me or perhaps make me feel unworthy or fearful, or they affect me. I want those emotions to just dissolve into whatever comes out of this. And this is just an exercise. It's not meant to be absolutely gorgeous and meant to represent a landscape or anything. It's literally just an exercise that I'm just making up. So let's see what happens. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing, like, I guess it's just leaf type shapes, but not really. I'm just using the side of this brush at the moment. Things, could change. At the moment it's kind of all talking to each other. Now if I put the purple in, it's going to make it, it'll be interesting. Let's just use this quinacridone color. Forgotten what it is. Quinacridone rose, I think. So I'm just creating something a bit unusual, but you know what the whole process is you write down your fears, and then you just, you realize that, you know what, once I've acknowledged them, I have power over those fears. I don't have to allow them to control me. Sure, maybe there's lots of them, and so you want to take your time and you want to, work through them at your pace. But once you acknowledge something, it's not quite as scary. You kind of go, oh, yeah, I have that fear. Let's see if I can work with that. Does not mean that you have to, I'm just going to choose something that's just, random here. But let's just say you have a fear of spiders and you're like really, really scared of them. It doesn't mean you have to go and sit in a room full of spiders. It just means that you can acknowledge it, and you can then work out, okay, so what can I do? What can I do that will help me to, move past it? I can maybe learn about them. I can learn about their habits. Educate yourself on those things. Now, one of my fears is going to new places by myself. And it might seem like such an inconsequential fear, but for me, it's, it's very real. And so, in terms of that, obviously for me, then the thing to do would be to organize something that I go to by myself. And just in doing that and in taking some steps to do a few things like that, it will eventually make you realize, oh, it's actually not so bad, or maybe organizing first of all to go to some places with friends and then start to slowly go, oh, I know where that is. I could potentially do it myself. Bringing those fears up to the light, and when they've come up to the light, you can go, okay, I see you, I acknowledge you, and you don't really hold that much power over me. Look at this. I can cover you. I can allow you to dissolve. I can change what you look like. And yeah, I think that's quite powerful. And that is why we can use, any means at our disposal to help ourselves through this life and to help ourselves just to, navigate what's going on. I'm so frustrated. I haven't used up all my paint. That's okay. I shall do more. But anyway, so this is just complete fun. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off and just wait for it to dry for a little bit. I might try and help it along. And then we'll do some other stuff. We might bring in some pens and stuff. Okay? Okay, so I dried it and then I had a little think. And I thought, how fun would it be to put leaves on top of everything? Because, we're all nature. We all go back to the earth. And so I just thought it would be fun to do leaves. So I'm just going to draw in some leaves. And I know you can't necessarily see it, so you just have to trust that I'm drawing in leaves. But all will be revealed in a minute, because I'm only just doing a few just down here. And then what I thought of doing was grabbing some more water and then maybe using a purple that we haven't used and just kind of, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see, let's make it dark. It's kind of like colouring in what is around, but as I say, I'm not sure if this is going to work. It's not a very bright colour, is it? I wonder if it should rather be the blue. Let's do this blue. Look at that. So what we've got here is then you've got this new lot of colours. Just going to do that, see what happens. That's just me wetting it again. I think I'm going to have to let that dry again. and then we'll come back to it. Right, now I'm not going to draw anything up here. I'm just going to go straight in with this dark green and see if I can make any kind of differences. Ooh, isn't that so dark? Wow, that's lovely. So now I think what I'm going to do is just go back down into the blue, just because, you know, I can see how nice it was when you outlined. It kind of gave it more structure, obviously. So I'm just going to do that with what's going on here. So you can see how what I'm doing. I think this is what I'm trying to achieve here, is that when you write down all your fearful things and then you paint over it and then you do another layer, and however many layers you want to do get done on top of all those fears. And what it does is it makes you realize that we are so multifaceted. We have so many layers, and some layers are going to be not as friendly and nice as other layers. But you know what? Through all of it, we have this beauty within us, and it's up to us to bring it out. And that's what I feel like it's happening here. You cover it up with beautiful things, with beautiful colors. Then you start blocking some of it away, because that's what happens with us in our human experience. We block things away, we maybe suppress stuff, and now it's up to us to bring it to light and to allow it to heal. But not only that, to bring some other beauty out of that. I have absolutely no idea where I'm going next with this. That is hilarious. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this will work, but let's try this purple. I'm still determined to try the purple. It could completely bomb, but let's, you know. Okay. This is really fun. I love doing leaves. So fun. They're so relaxing. You just like make these little quirly whirly shapes and see what happens. Ooh, let's make this up here. Okay. Maybe one more up here. Okay. And now I'm going to just put a little bit of purple around those leaves. Oh, it's so fun. So once again, you know, this is not necessarily about making a masterpiece. It's just about doing an exercise that makes you aware of the things that you fear, and then allowing you, while you're doing this exercise, it kind of allows you to think on, you know, think about those fears and work out, is there a way that I could maybe help myself with those? So, like, to be honest, I hadn't really thought about my fear of going to places that are not known to me. I honestly hadn't given it much thought. But when I wrote that down, I suddenly thought, oh my goodness, that's actually true. So it brings certain fears to light that you maybe didn't even realize you had. And then when you're painting, gives you that opportunity to just allow yourself to think on that and how you could perhaps move through that. And I think that's what's so fun about painting and emotions and just kind of bringing it all together. Now, let's see what I can do next with some markers, pens and things. I'm just going to dry it first though. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun. You know, I honestly didn't know where that was going, not at all. But I stand by the fact that you can write down all your emotions, you can get off your chest whatever's bothering you, write it down, and then just paint over it. And you can absolutely do it in watercolor. Even what I used, the base was an Inktense pencil, like I told you, which gets used with water. So you could pick up a watercolor pencil, watercolor marker, whatever you want, and just write things down and then go over them and just slowly build up color, just using whatever color you've got on your palette. You don't have to grab anything extra, just whatever you've got there. And then turn it into something. Now, I turned it into leaves because I found I actually like drawing leaves. They're just a nice fun shape and they're quite easy to do. And so when you not need, you don't want to think, you don't want to be putting pressure on yourself, because what you're doing is an exercise to relieve the stress, to relieve the emotions that you've attached to things. And so what I was working through in this particular one was removal of fear. Does it mean that it's worked and that I've no longer got fear? No, not at all. But what it does is, as I said, it brings that fear to the surface. It allows you to think about it while you are creating and possibly put into place a few things that you could do that might help you to work through even just one of them. And that's all you need to do. One step at a time is what helps us to take control of ourselves and to be able to move forward in life with a bit more confidence. And ultimately, fear gets linked a lot to self-worth. And so that's also another big thing to explore. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments if you tried it out for yourself. I'd love to know. Take care until next time. Bye for now.